Hi, this is Toni Taylor. This is podcast number 6. This is Toni Taylor with Interconnect Mortgage and my good friend, Brady Webb with American Mortgage Solutions. And we are here today powered by the mortgage marketing animals. Brady.
Oh my God, we're having a blast today already. As you can tell, Toni's just busting out laughing, and we haven't even got started yet. Well, that's a little bit of an so I'll tell you the inside joke is, so she's laughing about a good buddy of mine that's part of our group. He's a broker. He kind of played off the name of my company, American Mortgage Solutions, which I've had for 24 years. And I didn't give him too hard of a time, but I do, I don't know. Now he's America's Mortgage Solution. I guess I should just feel, I don't know, proud or blessed. It's definitely not blessed, but
honored.
Honored. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Maybe I should feel honored. He wants to follow in my footsteps.
Well, I'm struggling. I'm like, it's so close.
It's so close. Anyway, hey guys, thanks for being here today. Episode 6. It's amazing. Toni and I love doing this, and we're already into, I guess, this week 3, 4.
Yeah, something like that. 5.
Yeah, but hey, we're here for you guys. This podcast is for you. So at the end of the podcast, we're going to give you an opportunity, if you want to reach out to us at mortgagebrokertalk.com. And we're going to ask you for a review. We're going to start reading some reviews on these podcasts and what people are saying here soon. But be sure to leave us a review and let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you think about the content that you listened to already. And also like and share this with anyone else. Share it on your webpage. Share it to other mortgage sites. Help us get the word out. And again, very thankful to our dear friend Carl White and the Mortgage Marketing Animals to giving us the opportunity to actually do these podcasts and bring this information to you. So today, Toni, what are we going to talk about today?
Man, we want to talk about how to grow your team. It's just time. We talk about this. We talk to people all the time. And one of the podcasts that we did recently was about being in a state of being overwhelmed. And we also talk about automation a lot, right? So one of the things that I love is automation doesn't necessarily mean a computer does it for you. Automation can mean that just somebody else gets it done. So one of the group's common phrases is not how, but who. Yeah, but you got to figure out, before you just go throw the checkbook at salaries, you need a plan. And
so wait,
a plan.
Let's
understand
explain,
what you're doing.
Let's talk about that. How, but who? What? I love that. That made such a difference in my business and my life and a lot of different things. And how? If you've never heard, Find Your Who. There's actually a book about. What's the name of that book on finding?
I know, but it was not Dr. Seuss.
No, it wasn't.
It was not.
I think it's not how, but it's who. I think is actually the name of the book. But what that means is, you guys that are listening to this, have you ever okay, that's a great idea, I want to do that, or you get in, you're like, oh my God, maybe you want to start a podcast, or maybe you want to start digital marketing, or you want to get a new CRM. It's whatever it is that you've got on your mind that you want to get done, but you sit there and you just think about it, and okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And what I found, and actually this happens, I think, to most people, is you'd be a month later, or 2 months later, or 6 months, in some cases a year later, and all you've been doing is, how am I going to start this? How am I going to get this done? Instead of thinking about how and trying to figure out all the steps to do it, hire a who. Instead of saying, how am I going to do this? Who am I going to get to do this for me? Or who am I going to get to help me get this started? And so that's what how, it's not how, it's who means. All right, Toni.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How big is your team now?
15 people.
Okay. When did you hire your first person?
Oh my gosh. Well, that was way back in the beginning. Was a processor I hired in, I don't know, 2000 maybe.
Okay. And so what can you tell us about what you do now? How do you decide who you're going to hire and what you need to hire for in your business?
That's a great question. Let me think about that. Oh, Acts of Freedom. It's the Acts of Freedom. Did I get it right?
Yeah, we're going to play some T-ball over here. No, but you know what? Yeah. Let me ask you, how many people did you hire that it did not work out before you put this process in place?
Yeah. So the acts of freedom are several. I mean, and that comes down to learning how to hire, which I've gotten much better at also. But so the acts of freedom, this is a great topic to talk about today, guys. So if you ever, and Tony's already mentioned about being overwhelmed, and this is great to use for this. So what we do with the acts of freedom, we basically take this spreadsheet and you write down every single thing that you do. And so for instance, my name, Brady, may be in this column. I might have Toni's name over here, but she's my processor, Mary Sue, Bobby Joe, whoever it is. And we're going to, underneath each one of those names, we're going to put every single thing that they do on a daily or monthly basis. Because some things may not be daily. Maybe they got a task to send out a monthly mailer. That's a monthly task. But we're going to put everything under that. Now, if you are a sole loan officer and you're wanting to grow your business, or you feel like you can't get to the business building activities like calling on agents because you're too busy checking email, you're chasing documents, you're getting VOEs, you're submitting a loan, you're working with the title company to get the closing scheduled. If you're doing all that stuff, then you need to write all that down. And then in order to grow your business, you got to get rid of some of that, right? You got to get rid of some of that. So what we do is, what things can you get rid of? This acts of freedom. Once you write all this down, you're going to be able to look down the list. Okay, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And Toni, don't forget, this leads into the other thing, the triad of awesomeness. Because when you look at that triad of awesomeness, you figure out what you love, what you're good at, and what makes you money. And that's what this acts of freedom helps you figure out. So when you start looking down that acts of freedom, that list, that spreadsheet, you just wrote all that stuff down. Okay, what do I need to get rid of? What do I not like to do? What am I not good at? What doesn't make me money? And when you figure out all those things, you can start looking at the next person you need to hire, whether it's an assistant, it's a loan officer, loan officer assistant, loan partner, which is kind of like my mortgage experts. Do I need to hire a marketing person? Do I need to hire another processor? Whatever that, maybe you need an appointment setter, whatever it is, that's going to help you tell who you need to hire next.
Yeah.
And I just lost my train of thought there.
Well, here's let me.
I know what I'll come back to it. You go ahead.
Okay.
I'm gonna come back
just to lean into this, here's what I find that happens to a lot of people. They get so overwhelmed, they just bring a body in. Right? They don't know where they're going to put them. And now they're going to build that entire job description around that person, as opposed to building the job description and hiring a fit to the job description. So, and I love, doing exactly. Now I take this to another level, right? When I did the Acts of Freedom the first time, I'm like, oh, groceries delivered. Somebody comes and washes this dog. Somebody, picks up the car, like all these things. Right. But it really does, when you go back to the planning, right? Do you have a plan? Are you failing to plan? Or are you executing your plan? By getting this acts of freedom lined up, and also understanding every job that's got to get done in your business and in your life, what would you pay somebody to do that job?
That's exactly where I was going. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So, we found, I remember years ago. So when the first time, I've been in the group for about 7 years, I'm at the boot camp up in Dunedin in the war room. I was probably one of the last groups to go through the war room. And my business partner was not the most open to this whole going to the event, the whole 9 yards. And he also did not want to hire a shredding company. So I would hear the shredder, going on. I wanted to kill myself. I'm like, I can't, this is crazy, right? We go to the boot camp and they do this exercise and we figure out what our hourly rate is. And you're like, would you pay somebody $250 an hour to shred papers?
Right.
It becomes very obvious that there's things that you're doing. And look, if you love to do them, then keep doing them. Who cares? But if you don't like doing them and you can see that they really are an entry level or a lower level position, then I highly recommend you get these things off your plate. And you look for people, you build a job description there, and there's a difference, right? You have salespeople and you have fulfillment people. And what the differences are is in the personalities of people that are going to be happy in those different roles. So there's a few different things that come into play with this, but the acts of freedom is absolutely fundamental and foundational in deciding what that first person you need to hire is.
Right. Or even, the next, maybe you already have people and you just need another team member.
Yeah.
It's just, and it changes too. So just because you do it today, or just because I did it 6 months ago, doesn't mean I don't need to relook at it.
Yeah. Well, and look, you know what? We're all smart people, right? We're really, I'm always kind of in awe over the people that are in this group, in this industry, that are so intelligent. And then because we get caught up in our overwhelm, we do things that don't make it look like we're very intelligent sometimes. So this is one of those things that helps you look really smart too.
Right. 100%. So again, we have all the tools for this in the mortgage marketing animals, but all you really need is a spreadsheet. And again, just write down or just get a piece of paper and keep it on your desk for a day or two. And write down everything that you do during the day. Even if you're running DO, if you're running findings, you find yourself order, whatever you're doing that day, write it down. And also if you already have employees, have them do the same thing and then give it to you in the next day or two. But if you want to grow your business, you really need to know, like Toni said, who you need to hire next. And that would be based on the things that you find that you want to get off of your plate in order to free up your time to do what we call the DSP, the Daily Success Plan. And I can tell you right now, if you find yourself not running your day purposely, you're having to react to everything because you're doing everything, you're not going to have the time to make the calls that you need to grow your business. Now, here's the thing about everybody's like, oh, I can't afford to hire somebody. Okay, Brady, I'm going to hire somebody when I close 3 more loans. When I can get to closing 3 more loans than I am now, then I can afford to hire somebody. Hey, I used to have that same mentality, but I'm going to ask you to reframe your thought process on this. Because if you hire the right person, they will be an asset, not a liability. And they're going to give you the ability to grow your team. And probably in the first year, you'll probably double your volume by having somebody come in and help you get rid of those tasks that Toni was referring to. You wouldn't pay somebody $250 an hour to send a VOE out, would you?
Right.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't pay somebody $250 an hour to run AUS or pull credit.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And I think that, something that I used to struggle with in this space is that, and I think this is fairly common with all the people I talk to, they actually are operating, they already feel overwhelmed. And they're thinking, well, gosh, if I hire somebody else, now I got to figure out how to find the time to train that person with our systems and processes. And then they're thinking, oh man, I'm already overwhelmed managing, my 8 loans a month. How am I going to go get 5 more loans a month or 3 more loans a month to help pay for this person? Well, here's the deal. Like, that person should be paying for themselves. If they're not helping you through their support, get more business, not make your life harder, make your life more manageable, allow you to be more intentional and allow you to be more systematic in your day and your week, then you've got the wrong person.
No, I agree. And, here's the conversation. Here's the conversation I have with the people I'm hiring. I'm not going to hire someone to keep me where I'm at. And that's what I tell them. Look, I'm not hiring you to keep me where I'm at. I'm hiring you to take me to the next level. I'm giving you an opportunity, and what you do with that opportunity is up to you. But the results are going to tell me, basically the results are going to tell me what you did with that. And the other thing I tell people too, it's not my responsibility to create your job, to make sure you have a job tomorrow. Again, I'm giving you the opportunity. And with this opportunity, I'm expecting. Sorry about that, guys. Give me a second here. I thought that somebody's wanting an opportunity, apparently.
Well, the good news is you have a team, so that opportunity will be taken care of, even though you're here doing this. Yeah. And that is the power of automation.
That's exactly right. So anyway, it's up to them to do it's up to them to take the opportunity and turn it into something, is what I'm trying to say. So that goes back to me talking about, you got to look at your people when you hire them. It's an asset. It's going to make you more money if you hire the right person. And again, you got to have the right person in the right seat. There's been multiple times I've had the wrong person in the wrong seat.
Mhm.
And I've had the right person in the wrong seat that I had to move to a different seat. So, but look at hiring people as an asset and a way to grow your business, help give you more time, free up time to go do the money-making activities. And
Yeah.
look, if it doesn't work, then don't give up on it. Just try again, get a different person and get better at, at hiring and learn from your mistakes. That's what Toni and I have done that. I've got a long list of past employees.
Look, it's a crazy analogy, but I'm gonna throw it out there. So how many people out there that are listening are married or in a relationship? Is that the first and only person you ever dated? You may hire some people and it may not work out, just like it took you a while to get to your spouse or significant other, or you got a bad haircut. You don't stop getting a haircut. So it's a process. And here's what I find. One of the challenges is that most of us really love people. Right. So there's not too many people that we sit down with that we're like, oh, they're amazing. We just love them. And then we hire them and we're like, they might have been amazing over coffee, but they're not so amazing in this job.
You're right.
And so, there's other tools and we can talk about that at another time, but, there's ways to help flush things out. But I think that having a clear job description, because one of the things that helps people succeed is a track to run on. And if you can have clarity yourself, then you have a better job at being clear with your team and setting their expectations. And, this acts of freedom that we talk about is not a one and done. This is going to be fluid for you. It's going to grow as your team evolves, as people get more skilled, as you get more business in the door. And it's, I recommend before anybody does anything, and it's really important. Don't just do it as you running your business. Make sure you're talking about it with your team members, because 100%. They need to have ownership of the things that are falling under their responsibility. If you don't make that clear to them, then they're going to fail you, and it's not going to be their fault.
Yeah, this Acts of Freedom is going to help you with your job description, what you're hiring. Yeah. And, when these people come in, again, we're talking about growing your business, Acts of Freedom, bringing in additional staff people. You got to be crystal clear on what their job responsibilities are, what your expectations are. So the better job you do of setting those expectations and responsibilities, making sure they're crystal clear on them, the better the employee is going to be. Because we all like structure, right? Most people like structure. Yeah. And they want to feel like they're going to do they want to feel like they're doing a good job. But if they really don't know what they're supposed to be doing, they're not going to be happy.
True story.
And I like you.
Yeah, I like the hack that I do my acts just a little bit different, but I will tell you, I'm going to share this because I think it's super efficient and I think it's a great way. So I don't put, Susie and her job description. I put every single thing that we have to do within my organization down the first column. And then I put new columns for each employee or each team. It could be a position or a person. And then I just put an X if it's under their responsibility. And that way, as I update my acts of freedom, all I got to do is move the X. Right. So it makes it super easy versus writing down that these are all of Brian's responsibilities. And now I've got to rewrite his whole acts of freedom to get it updated. It's super efficient. Yeah, it's super efficient that way.
Awesome. Well, guys, listen, if this information is helpful to you, reach out to us. Toni and I'd be more than glad to jump on a call with you. MortgageBrokerTalk.com. It's MortgageBrokerTalk.com. And again, we are powered by the Mortgage Marketing Analysts. Also, we would love to get a review from you and get your feedback on what we're doing, what we're talking about, any topics that you would like for us to discuss in the future. And also remember can you please share this with 2 or 3 people for us and help us grow the Mortgage Broker Podcast and serve more people.
And thanks for listening.
Yep. We'll see you soon, guys and gals, and have an amazing day. Talk to you soon.